Shado Twala on SAfm.
Embracing Anxiety workshop is offered by An Bakkes. Hello, Anne.
Good afternoon, Shado. How are you doing?
I'm good, thank you. I read through. So let anxiety in, get your feelings in check, stop the judgment, and believe that you can learn from anxiety. Really?
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 Very much so every day.
So what are we talking about when we're talking anxiety and anxiousness?
So I think I have to start by just acknowledging Sam. She was so courageous. I mean,
Oh.
it's more than just being brave. She was really courageous. She lived with her whole heart.
I tell
and she
you,
may or may not have known it, but I think there was quite a bit of anxiety in their relationship.
well, I suspect so. In fact, that's why I thought we could talk together because, she did experience anxious moments when you don't know what to do with yourself and whether you're not sure whether you're thinking, is you having the right thoughts or not, if you're being rational at all.
And I think that's a part of what anxiety does. So two of the big contributors of anxiety in our normal life at the moment is uncertainty and complexity. And I think we all have a lot of that in our lives. And the thing about anxiety and why we can learn from it is because when we make our decisions from an anxious place, it's not our best decisions.
So anxiety is the same as worry?
Worry is an element of anxiety. So what I love about the research, it tells us that fear has an object. So you can be afraid of snakes, or you can be afraid of spiders. And I'm using really superficial things.
Yeah.
Challenge with anxiety is that it's objectless. You know, this constant feeling that accompanies you, that you can't put your finger on, but it's always there. So worry is an element of it. Absolutely.
So it's all a feeling, but if it's always there or we are familiar with that feeling, I want to believe that we either get used to it, it's no longer effective. I don't know if we can ignore it, but if we understand it, maybe we can shoo it away and it never comes back. But why is it always there? Why does it always come back?
So because of the complexity and the uncertainty, let's just look about a daily life. You don't, and I'm going to use very, very basic things. You don't know if there's going to be a traffic jam on your way to your meeting. The uncertainty, and these are things we live with daily. You've said, maybe we get used to it. I think we become familiar with the adrenaline that goes through our bodies, and I think that's one of the reasons why people get sick the moment they go on leave, because there's an element of how we contain every day. So I'd like to think that if we embrace anxiety rather than push it away, we can learn from it and deal with it. I've been in the space where I've been diagnosed with cancer twice while I was pregnant.
Ooh.
And that takes anxiety to a whole different level. So that constant thing of, again, let's use basic things. Will I get to work on time? How will this month turn out? What about the unforeseen expense about my car that broke or having to go to the doctor for an extra time? These are things that we've gotten used to, but because we can't predict them, you see, we are hardwired for prediction. Because we can't predict that, it makes us really anxious.
So how are you going to help us embrace anxiety?
So I found that, another reason why I'm so inspired by Sam is that my book has to be done by the end of November in order to be published in February, and hence a lot of research and talks that goes into it. So the first thing I'd like to share, there's much more to this, but the first two things I'd like to share is to check what our judgment is. What are we judging? Because judging is one of the things that we use to predict life.
Okay.
And to make it known. So judging is one of the ways, and not always a healthy way, to make our life more certain. So when we meet someone or something or encounter a situation that is unfamiliar and is uncertain, we try to judge it to make it known. And most of the time when I speak to people, the word judgment doesn't bring up something positive. It brings up that I'm either wrong or that the other person is wrong, or that there's some criticism, or none of the feeling that comes with judgment is positive.
That's true.
So the first thing is if we can just become aware of what we judge. Just become aware of it. And I don't think that it's possible to live in suspended judgment every single moment of the day. But if I think we can extend those moments for a little bit longer and just see what's there. So the thing with judgment is the moment you judge something, that's all you can see. So I really enjoyed this little thing that a lady married someone from a different culture. And what her mom said was, oh, he's lovely for a guy from that culture. So she could never see past that, you know. So when we judge, no matter how big and how small it is, it increases our anxiety because something, someone, or somewhere in this equation, something is wrong or other than us. And then the antidote for that, or I call it the alchemy to that, and again, there's much more to this, but the alchemy to that is to start being grateful for what is. I remember when I was really, really sick, and when I was diagnosed the second time, my daughter was 3 months old, and I remember sitting there thinking, how do I do this? How do I do this a second time? And my 2-year-old son came into the door, and he walked in with hope. And I was thinking, oh my goodness, look what I have.
Exactly.
Look what, and gratitude is to also want what you have.
I love how you said he walked in with hope. Walked in with hope. That is such beautiful words. Now, tell me, do you have a book? Because I know you've got a course and we'll tell everyone about it. But do you have a book?
So I'm in the process, Shado, of writing the book. And Knowledge Resources were so kind and generous to publish it. And in order for it to be out in February next year, I have to be done by the end of November. So I'm focusing on writing. You can see the steam coming out of my ears.
Okay, so go back to your writing, and I'll give details of the cause. And are you on social media?
I am on social media, and my website is abakkes.com.
abakkes.com. Bakkes, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Fantastic. All the best, and we'll give details of your cause in a bit. But thank you so much for talking to us.
Thank you, Shado, and have a lovely afternoon.
Happy writing. It's 24th. It's taking place at Durbanville Hills Wine Estate on the 24th of October. So do go for the Embracing Anxiety workshop. And Bakkes, Bakkes, is the website where you will find more information on anxiety and embracing anxiety.